Money. Now there's a funny little invention. Shiny paper, imaginary numbers, plastic cards that beep, and suddenly people smile. Suddenly people listen. Suddenly you're important. Not because you're wise or kind or even useful. No. Just because you've got a little more of the stuff everyone's crawling over each other to get. And when someone whispers you're going to receive a financial gift, now the ears perk up, don't they? Hearts beat a little faster. Not because of the words, but because of the hope. The fantasy. That maybe, just maybe, luck has finally decided to flirt with you. Money doesn't change people. It unmasks them. Pulls the curtain. Exposes the nervous little actor behind the costume of humble, responsible kind. Oh, people are lovely when they're broke. Polite. Careful. Controlled. They smile like saints and speak in soft tones, all while staring at the exit sign, wondering if anyone's watching closely enough to notice the hunger in their eyes. But give them money, give them power, and you'll meet the creature behind the mask. Not the version they show on Sundays, but the real one. The one that's been pacing in the shadows, waiting for permission to step into the light. You ever see someone win the lottery and lose their mind? Not over time, immediately. They blow it all. Fast cars, fake friends, bright lights, and everyone gasps, oh, how tragic. No, it's not tragic. It's true. That money didn't ruin them. It just gave them the chance to be honest. See, when you're struggling, forced to pretend. You need help, so you play nice. You need approval, so you act grateful. But money removes the need to fake it. Suddenly, you don't have to smile if you don't feel like it. You don't have to say thank you just to survive. You get to stop playing the character. And that's when the truth walks in, uninvited, unfiltered, and usually ugly. People beg for riches thinking it'll solve everything. If I had more money, I'd be happier. No, sweetheart, you'd just be more of what you already are. Angry. Now you're angry with options. Insecure. Now you can afford bigger distractions. Arrogant. Now everyone has to hear it in surround sound. Money is not a mask, it's a megaphone. It amplifies, multiplies, clarifies. So if you've been hiding behind struggle, pretending you've got it all figured out, a financial gift won't bless you, it'll reveal you. See, when you've got nothing, you have something to prove. You push, you hustle. You keep quiet when you want to scream. But when money shows up, when you're suddenly lifted out of that pressure, what's left? What do you do when you don't have to struggle anymore? That's the test. Not what you do when you're broke. What you do when you're free. And most people, they fold. Not because they're evil, because they never met themselves without desperation guiding the wheel. And that version, that calm, comfortable, unconstrained version, it terrifies them. Because now there's no excuse, no one holding you back, no system to blame. You've got the keys. And if your car still won't start, guess who's the problem? That's what people don't want to face. The truth that maybe it was never about the money. Maybe it was about them, about their mindset, their self-worth, their fear. But it's easier to say, if I had more, I'd be better, safer too. Because that keeps the blame over there, on the lack, on the world, on anything but what's staring back in the mirror. That's why wealth feels like a gift to the hungry and a mirror to the weak. Because once you have it, the game shifts. Now it's not about survival, it's about stewardship. Can you handle it? Can you grow it? Can you respect it without worshiping it? And more importantly, can you keep your soul from being sold in the process? Because money doesn't walk into your life alone. It brings friends, temptation, distraction, ego, pressure. And if you're not ready for that party, you'll wake up surrounded by strangers you thought were on your side. Everyone wants a financial blessing, but no one wants the internal audit it demands. No one wants to sit with their greed, their guilt, their quiet little fantasies of revenge. They just want the reward, the applause, glow up, but not the exposure. not the vulnerability. Because when you're broke, your vices are hidden, small, controlled. But wealth pours gasoline on them, lights them up. Suddenly everyone sees what you were hiding behind the humble clothes and soft voice. And some people, they can't survive that kind of visibility. The real question isn't what would you do with the money. The real question is, what would it do to you? Would you grow or shrink? Would you share or hoard? Would you lead or manipulate? Would you finally become who you pretend to be, or would you finally admit who you really are? Most people don't want the money. They want the illusion that they'll become better people when they get it. But deep down they know better. They know that money doesn't cleanse. It exposes. And once it does, there's no going back to the lie they built when they had nothing to lose. Oh, everyone loves a gift, especially when it falls from the sky like magic. No strings, no warning, just a big fat miracle wrapped in invisible ribbon. A financial one, no less how poetic. But here's the part they don't write in fortune cookies. A gift you're not ready for isn't a blessing. It's a loaded weapon in the hands of a child. Shiny, tempting, and absolutely catastrophic. People think the universe is late. Where's mine? They cry. But maybe, just maybe, the universe is waiting for you to stop being stuck being stupid with it. Because here's what they don't teach in school. Money doesn't fix stupid, doesn't fix scared, doesn't fix lazy. If anything, it inflates it. Like a balloon full of nervous gas. Now it's just floating higher for everyone to see. And people love to pretend they're ready. They rehearse their speeches, they plan their shopping lists. They even post cryptic quotes about abundance and destiny. But readiness isn't something you can Photoshop. It shows up when the lights are off and the mirror's clean. When no one's watching and you're still doing the work. But what do most do instead? They sit, they wait, they complain, they fantasize, and they lie to everyone, especially themselves. They say they want the opportunity, but they don't even know how to hold it. Their pockets are full of holes. Their minds are still wired for survival, not stewardship. Their habits are rusted shut, and yet they stand under the sky, arms wide open, screaming, "Send it to me now." As if that money isn't listening, as if it doesn't know the chaos it would cause in their hands. You want proof? Just look at what people do with small blessings, tiny wins, a check in the mail. What happens? They run to spend it. They reward themselves before they even learn from it. They see every dollar as disposable, not directional. They treat increase like a party, not a test. That's the joke. The money shows up in bits first, not because life is stingy, but because it's merciful. It's watching how you handle scraps before it dares hand you the whole loaf. People think money is complicated. It's not. People are. Money just obeys the one holding it. It bends to belief. It echoes character. If you're chaotic, it multiplies the chaos. If you're grounded, it builds empires. But people think they'll figure it out after they get it. That's like saying you'll learn to swim after you're thrown in the ocean and when you're. That's not ambition. That's delusion with lipstick on. But no one wants to hear that. They want the fantasy. The instant upgrade. The dramatic turnaround where the broke underdog wakes up rich and wise. The movie moment. Except life doesn't write scripts like that. Life gives you tests. Repeats them until you learn. And if you keep failing, if you keep proving you can't handle little without self-sabotage, it holds the real gift back, like a parent hiding the car keys from the kid who still thinks red lights are optional. And here's the real twist. Most people don't want more money, they want more permission. Permission to escape responsibility. To validate their worth. To silence the voice that says they're behind. They think money will prove something. That it'll buy them love, respect, freedom. But if you need money to feel those things, you were never free to begin with. And no amount of zeros will fix a broken internal compass. That's why readiness matters. Because a gift is only as powerful as the hands that hold it. And most hands, shaking, greedy, addicted to comfort, afraid of pressure, desperate for applause. So when the money shows up, it gets wasted on image, on impulse, on short-term high and long-term regret. And then what? They blame the gift. It came too fast. It ruined me. No, you ruined you. The gift just gave you the stage. People think the blessing is the end, the happy finale. Cue the music, roll the credits, but it's just the beginning. A gift is a doorway, a test, an amplifier. And if you walk through unprepared, it doesn't make you rich, it makes you louder. Louder in your mistakes, louder in your fear, louder in the parts you were supposed to heal before you ever saw a single dollar. Everyone wants the prize, no one wants the weight. They look up, palms out, eyes wide, whispering sweet little nothings to the stars. Send it to me. I'm ready. But they're not. They want the vault to open, but they're still walking around with a rusted piggy bank and a plastic mindset. They want the millions, but can't even handle the silence that comes with responsibility. Because once you have it, once that gift drops into your lap like a test you didn't study for, there's nowhere left to hide. No excuses. No one to blame. Now it's just you and the pressure. Oh, the pressure. People love pressure in theory. Makes them sound heroic. I thrive under pressure. Do you? Or do you just panic beautifully and call it growth? See, pressure doesn't come to cuddle. It comes to crack. To separate the talkers from the doers, the fantasizers from the builders. When you're handed something, big money, power, opportunity, it's not a reward, it's a mirror. A very loud, very expensive mirror. And most people, they can't look into it without flinching. Because they're not built for it. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. They're still addicted to ease, still married to comfort. But pressure doesn't care about your comfort. It comes to see if what you say you are is what you really are. That's what no one tells you when you beg for a blessing. That pressure is the twin brother of every gift. You don't get one without the other. Want more money? Fine. Here's more responsibility. Want more opportunity? Sure. Here's more eyes watching you, waiting for you to screw it up. Want freedom? Great. Here's the weight of every decision you now have to make without a safety net. Most don't want freedom. They want permission to not be challenged. And when they don't get that, they call it stress. They call it unfair, but pressure is a gift too. It just comes dressed like a problem. That's why people lose it when they actually get what they asked for, because it doesn't come wrapped in comfort, it comes wrapped in sad. And chaos exposes every crack you ignored, every insecurity you never dealt with, every fear you painted over with ambition. Now they all come crawling out, screaming, look at me. And suddenly the thing you wanted feels like a punishment. But it's not. It's just honest. It's just pressure being pressure, doing its job, testing the foundation before the skyscraper goes up, making sure you're not all glitter and glue. Because pressure doesn't care how good you look when things are easy. It wants to know how you move when the ground shakes. Can you adapt? Can you think? Can you lead? Most can't, most crumble. They cry, it's too much. No, you're too little. You haven't stretched, haven't trained, haven't put yourself through the fires that teach you how to breathe when it burns. But you wanted the gift, didn't you? You thought it would come with applause. Instead, it came with a timer and a blindfold. And now the money's here. Now the spotlight's on. Now the choices matter. Every dollar is a decision. Every move is magnified. There's no more hiding behind the lie of one day. One day is today. The gift has arrived. But guess what? So has the weight. So has the pressure, and it's watching you. Waiting to see if you'll rise or rot. If you'll grow into it or shrink under it. Because that's what real pressure does, it reveals your limits. And most people, they find out they're smaller than they thought. Not because they are, but because they never trained to be anything else. Pressure doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care about your plans. It shows up the second something Valuable enters your life and says, let's see if you can keep it. That's the part no one claps for. The behind the scenes, the breakdowns, the anxiety at 3 a.m., the doubt. But that's where the real transformation happens. Not when you get the gift, but when you learn how to carry it day after day, misstep after misstep, with people watching, with people waiting, with failure breathing down your neck like a lover you can't quite leave. And here's the punchline: pressure is fair, brutally fair. It doesn't care where you came from, what you've been through, who doubted you. It only cares about what you can handle. And if you can't, it doesn't yell. It just takes the gift back, quietly, slowly, piece by piece, until all you're left with is a memory and a million excuses. They say if you don't believe you deserve it, you'll sabotage it. Not on purpose, oh no. That would be too easy, too clean. No, the sabotage is subtle, polite, even. Comes dressed like hesitation, like selflessness, like humility. That fake kind of humble where you pretend you're not hungry, just so no one accuses you of being greedy. But deep down you're starving. Starving for more, yet terrified that if it ever actually showed up, you'd find some way to burn it all down before anyone could see you holding it. People walk around chanting affirmations, sticking vision boards on their walls, whispering, "I am worthy," like it's a spell that'll trick the universe. But the real belief, it's in the habits, in the reaction when something good actually happens. Do they open the door or do they flinch? Most flinch, they stall, they downplay, they question. Why me? As if blessings only come with perfect resumes, as if worthiness is a spreadsheet. But it's not. It's a decision. A choice you make before the world agrees. But oh, that's the scary part, isn't it? Believing you're worth something when no one's clapping, no one's watching, no one's handing you permission slips. You get a little win, just a little, and suddenly the anxiety, you start leaps in. You start looking over your shoulder. Is this a trick? Did I earn this? What if I mess it up? So what do? You slow down. You shrink. You give some of it away too fast. You let other people decide how much you should keep. And then when it's gone, you say, see, I knew it wouldn't last. But that was the plan all along, wasn't it? Not the universe's plan, yours. You didn't think you deserved it, so you made sure you didn't have to hold it. It's funny, people fight so hard to get in the room. Knock on the door, kick it down if they have to. But once they're inside, surrounded by opportunity, they quiet, they second-guess every move. They shrink themselves to fit the furniture. Because somewhere along the way, someone told them that to be modest is to be small. That you're not allowed to take up space unless someone offers it to you, so you wait. You apologize for being there. You act like the gift was a glitch, like someone must have made a mistake. And that belief, it bleeds into everything. The way you spend, the way you speak, the way you breathe when money comes into your life. If deep down you think it's too good to be true, you'll treat it like a dream you're afraid to wake up from. So you don't invest it, don't protect it, don't grow it. You just hold it like a secret, waiting for the moment it slips away so you can sigh and say, I say, and boom, prophecy fulfilled. Not because it was doomed, but because you were too afraid to believe it could be real. They don't teach this part in financial literacy class. That if your self-worth is bankrupt, no amount of cash can fix it. You'll just build a castle with no foundation, then watch it collapse and say, see, I'm cursed. No, you're not cursed. You're conditioned. Conditioned to think that survival is the ceiling, that happiness is suspicious, that wealth is for other people with cleaner hands, straighter teeth, better luck. So when it lands in your lap, you look for a trap. And if you don't find one, you create it. Drama, debt, bad choices, you invite chaos to the party just to feel normal again. 'Cause chaos is familiar, right? Struggle is predictable, but peace, prosperity, that stuff feels foreign. And humans are creatures of habit, not happiness. We go where it's familiar, even if it hurts, especially if it hurts. So when something good comes along, something real, you don't trust it. You wait for the fall. And when it doesn't come fast enough, you jump just to get it over with. It's not failure, it's control. You'd rather sabotage it on your terms than wait for it to disappear on someone else's. You see, it's never just about money, never just about the gift. It's about the mirror it holds up. The mirror that asks, do you really believe this is for you? And most don't. They'll nod, they'll smile, they'll post a quote about blessings and timing, but deep down they're terrified. Not of losing it, but of keeping it. Of living up to it. Of becoming the person who can carry it without flinching, without apologizing, without waiting for the sky to fall. You ever seen someone win big and then blow it all to hell like it never happened? Like they were allergic to good fortune? Happens every day. They get the money, the chance, the spotlight, and suddenly it's like they hit the self-destruct button with a smile on their face. Why? Because deep down they were never taught how to keep good things. They were just trained how to chase them, how to beg for them, how to survive until something nice showed up. But the moment it does, oh, the panic sets in. Because now it's real. Now they've got something to lose. And that's the scariest thing of all. You'd think the fear would be before the gift arrives, during the drought, the struggle, the praying and pacing. But no, the real fear starts after. Once the thing you wanted lands in your lap like a ticking clock, suddenly you're not so sure you want it anymore. Because now comes the pressure. The pressure to use it right, to not screw it up, to not be seen as a fluke. Now you're carrying something heavy, and every step feels like it might shatter the floor. So what do most people do? They drop it, casually, deliberately. They dress it up as a mistake. But really, it's an escape. People don't fear failure. They fear success with no clue what comes next. It's like giving a grenade to a kid and telling them it's a magic trick. Look what you can do. And then boom, there goes the gift, the platform, the blessing, all of it. Gone in a flash. Not because they were evil. Not because they were cursed. But because nobody ever taught them how to exist in abundance. They were built for struggle, wired for survival. So when they finally get something worth keeping, they treat it like a borrowed coat. Something they'll have to give back eventually. Something that was never really theirs to begin with. You see it everywhere. Athletes, artists, business owners, they rise, they shine, and then out of nowhere, chaos. Scandal. Burnout. Financial ruin. Why? Because the skill to gain isn't the same as the skill to sustain. One is adrenaline. The other is discipline. But discipline is boring, isn't it? Not as sexy as the chase. Not as dramatic. It doesn't get headlines. It just quietly builds empires while everyone else is busy lighting theirs on fire for attention. That's the great joke. That most people don't actually want stability, they want highs. Peaks, drama, they want to feel something. And when life gets calm, consistent, prosperous, it starts to itch, starts to feel suspicious. This can't be it, they think. So they shake things up. They pick fights. They make reckless choices. They gamble the gift away just to feel alive again. Because peace feels like a trap when you've only known war. So the money shows up. And at first it feels like freedom. But soon enough it becomes a mirror. A mirror that shows you exactly how undisciplined, impulsive, and insecure you really are. And that's uncomfortable. That's terrifying. So what do people do? They blur the mirror. They spend without thinking. They trust the wrong people. They ignore the budget. They party. They posture. Anything to not look like they're drowning. Until it all caves in. And then they say, the money changed me. No, it didn't. It revealed you.